Everybody wants to own everything. And my thing is, it's better to own 10% of something than 100% of nothing. That is the band that started me. You know, I mean, Arnold will get up off his drum and play his drums backwards. He'll walk around his drum and solo. I said, well, I got to do something too. So I started to throw the bass behind my neck and thing and play the bass and put it between my legs and whining the bass on the ground and thing. That's where the whole thing started. Humble yourself. From that day, I learned to humble myself and understand that, you know, there's always somebody better than you, and there will always be people that you're better than. But never judge yourself or have yourself being judged. You just stand your ground. When you're playing, just play what you know. Don't try to outdo and show off, because that's the time you lose your ground. Just be humble. Do what you got to do and do it well.
You listen to the Freshman Song. You listen to Vincy Internet Radio, the station that plays you the best variety of music anywhere on the internet. Yeah, for the rest, now you're locked on to the best of Vincy Internet Radio. It's now 1 minute past 4 in the nation's capital. We are located in Ottawa, Canada. We have with us one of the better bass players out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Harold Ploomie Lewis. Harold, just introduce yourself.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Plummy. I've been doing this thing for over 50 years. It don't sound that wrong, yeah? And since leaving the shores of St. Vincent, I've been trying to improve on it and do more. I'm writing a lot of songs, but I'm releasing them one at a time. I don't know how far back I can take you. As far as when I started with Roland Sardine, I played with him for about a year, joined Smex Macintosh with Psychedelics, played for a little while with him too. Then things died down. Then I started with Checkmates. Checkmates, we built up for a while. And then in Barbados, I had a group called Checkmates, so we had to change the name and we became Mastermind. That was a serious band as far as I was concerned, but most people beg to differ. They felt that Revolution was the better band. Revolution was the most, what I would say, advertised band, you know, because, you know, we had good advertising, you know, with Ricky Hillocks and me writing this song, go to Barbados to record. We did a couple songs together too, but the one I wrote was this one that you hear in the Little You Say. And the rest we did as a group together. And from there, I formed Polyphonics. I'm giving you the history. And then Polyphonics was the final, but Polyphonics was a more like a progressive band. We had guys like Shay Keane, Cohen Morris, Caldrick Forbes, Al Wilson, Paul Anderson, myself, and Kenton Kirby. Yes, Kenton Kirby and Peter. Those were the two hornmen we had in the band. That band was a serious band, but it didn't last too long. Everybody wanted to leave the shores of St. Vincent, and eventually I had to make that same decision too. Yes, keep the bumper rolling. That's a song. Yeah, man. That's the last song I wrote up here as a soca format.
All right, just want to give a shout out to our first-time listeners. Shout out to our regular listeners, Facebook audiences, and audiences around the world in SVG. Right about now, we have the pleasure of sitting down to chat with legendary. And when I say legendary, I mean legendary. It's a pleasure to welcome right now Mr. Harold Ploomie Lewis. Legendary, sir. Welcome to Vincy Internet Radio. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I know you got a little bit mixed up with your host, but don't worry, you'll be drilled by both of us this evening.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, hands up.
Yeah, man. So again, man, it's a pleasure to have you. You know, it's always good when we have, you know, legends like you who can tell your story and we can, you know, learn from it, and then the people who are coming up can know their history and know where things, you know, started and how the struggle began and how to continue the journey, you know.
Yes, man.
So,
yes.
I know Sip told you to introduce yourself and you gave us a little brief history in a nutshell. But you know, take us back now to where it all started for you in the music business. Not before you started the legendary journey, you know, but before you felt the love love for music, like grabbing maybe your first instrument or something with it?
Oh, okay. That yes. Well, that's cool. Well, what happened? The bass was not an instrument that I chose. I think the bass chose me. Um, my brothers, Wendell and Norman, they were musicians. They were playing already with Roland Sadi. Wendell was a drummer and Norman was a guitar player. And but before that happened, they were going to grammar school. I was still in prep school.
Before that, just tell us for the listeners who don't know where you're from. Tell us where in St. Vincent you're from, you know, because we don't know. Pretend we don't know anything about you, you know, because Sip knows a lot about you, but pretend we don't know anything about you. So tell us where you're from. Yeah.
Originally, I was born in Curacao. My father's a Vinci, and he was in Curacao. He met my mother. My mother's a Guyanese, and they got married in Curacao and had me, Wendell, and Norman. And when I was at the age of 8, he decided to migrate back home because, you know, his time was up with Isla. That was the company he was working with. And this is where my foundation is in St. Vincent. You know, I went to prep school for a couple of years. I would say that. And as I said, the guys were forming a band. That's how I got myself into the bass. Through these, I don't know if you guys remember a band called the Antsness Brothers. Well, I don't remember the brother that was the bass player. I was interested in the bass, and he loaned me his bass guitar to start practicing because I wanted to play bass with my brothers. And from there, I just developed playing that by ear. You know, I hear a song, I jump in the bass. I don't care what key it's in. I don't know the key. I just playing. So that's how I started. And they formed a group with Trevor Graham. I don't know if you remember Trevor Graham. His father was the administrator at one time in St. Vincent. He was the keyboard player, very good keyboard player. I'm not sure what is his situation right now, if he's still alive but I know he was having some ailments, you know, taking, you know, on him. So I haven't heard from him or spoke to him in years. But that's how my story started. And music, as I stick with the music. Then my brother needed me to fill in for, I think it was Noel John. He was leaving for the States. And he didn't tell Roland that he was leaving. So they said, well, my brother said, well, my brother can play the bass, man. Roland was nervous, man. He said, but the man never practiced with us, so we can play bass. He said, man, don't worry, man. My brother can play. And I played with him. Roland was making mistakes all night because I shocked him, right? So that's how the whole story started. Then everybody after time wanted me to play with their band, you know, and I had, you know, I wanted to grow in the stuff. But there's an important lesson I want to tell other musicians and other bass players or any musician that you could think about. You need to be humble in this game. You need to be very humble. I remember one time, this group called 3+1, they were playing at the cinema, Russell Cinema. They came in with a group with 3 girls singing. They call themselves 3+1. And we opened the show, right? And everybody was enjoying Checkmates at that time. The name didn't change as yet. And the guy came up to me and said, hey, man, you play nice bass. I said, man, just go up there and play the bass. I don't know that. You know what I mean? Pompous. And then the man got up and playing, man. I fold my hand in front of him, man, to stand up and see what you going to do. What you going to do? Let me see what you going to do. Listen, the rest of the band walk off the stage and left. The drummer, the guitar player, and the bass player. The guitar player take his solo. That was nice, boy. The drummer do a little thing. And they call on the bass man to do a solo. And the man started playing that bass. I didn't even know bass could do those things. But that was my first bass lesson. Humble yourself. From that day, I learned to humble myself and understand that, you know, there's always somebody better than you, and there will always be people that you're better than. But never judge yourself or have yourself being judged. You just stand your ground. You know, when you're playing, just play what you know. Don't try to outdo and show off, because that's the time you lose your ground. Just be humble. Do what you got to do and do it well.
True. I'm glad it's coming from a legend like you to be humble, because we have a couple of guys who came on here and they said the same thing, you know. They have learned to be humble in the music business, especially. Yeah. You know, so when a legend like you talk, The rest of us, we have to listen. So which area did you grow up in St. Vincent? Which village per se?
Mackey's Hill.
Mackey's Hill.
Yeah, right behind the girls' high school.
Later on, I'll give you a history about his place.
Okay,
I'm getting the clear picture. I'm getting the clear picture of it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So around your time though, because we tend, like a younger person like me tend to think that around your time, I didn't really expect there were so many bands around, but around your time, like how many bands were around that time?
Man, there were a lot of bands. Some of them I don't even remember the name, but I remember Apertusas. Latiners was existing. That we talking before Revolution, right? Because they had a lot of bands. They those guys from Leyu. Oh gosh, I forget the Asterix.
Was it Asterix?
Yes, and Volcano, and there's a lot of bands, man. I wish I hadn't. I was prepared for this.
Because what we learned is that almost every village or area had a band in those days.
Yeah,
you know, and it's a shame that it's a scarcity of them right now. You know.
Well, the breakdown started to when I formed Revolution, because everybody seemed to lag. Nobody was really serious about the music. Everybody was just playing music, drink a little rum here and there, and enjoy themselves, smoke a thing. That's what was going on. So I eventually, when Mastermind, I wasn't ready. For me, they weren't ready at the time, because I had given up school to play music, because as I told Timmy when I was leaving Timmy school, intermediate high school, he said, when I was supposed to do GCA, I said, listen, I don't play music in school, and I don't have an interest in doing GCA and all that thing. I'm going to do that sometime later in my life. But right now, things happening for me and I want to grow. And around that time, a lot of bands was falling through. And I was able to get members from some of the other bands that weren't doing anything and put the band together.
But Legend, hold on. I'm calling you Legend. Hold on. You're giving us, you fast tracking us a little bit here. You started also with a band with intermediate and grammar school, didn't you?
Yeah, yes, in grammar. I was in grammar school for
right. So we want you to tell us. We want you to tell us that to come up. We're coming up, we just want to do the background,
you got me, boy. You got me. I tell you when I got my hands up.
Yeah, Rosalind Sardine Ensemble. Tell us, how you got into that, and what was that, and then roll it forward there. And
okay, very good, man. I like you guys. Like you did your homework, man.
Yeah, man. That's...
I hear you, man. All right. Well, as I said, Rolling Sardine was just a stroke of luck, because as I said, Noel John was playing with him at the time, and Noel had a chance to come up to the United States, and he didn't know how to tell Roland he's going to do it, but he confided in my brother, Norman. That's my oldest brother, and Norman waited until the evening to tell Roland that Noel is not going to make the gig. And Norman said, so Roland said, oh, hell, man, what we going to do now? And so Norman said, don't worry, man, I got a little brother who just play bass. He said, which little brother that? I never heard about him, because that's the truth. He never heard about me. And I went and filled in for that night and played every song that Roland played, because Norman, when he come home, I'd hear him practicing the songs, and sometimes I'll go downstairs and play the bass and another guitar, following him to see where the song run. And that's how I started music.
So from there now you branch off to where? From the Sardine?
I branch off to psychedelics.
Okay. So but you were still in high school in psychedelics, or you finished?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
By psychedelics, I think that's the time I was in Timmy school, because I was studying school then. Music was in my mind. Yeah.
So,
Don't tell me nothing but school books now.
Right.
Yeah.
So before CP comes in, right? So
Uh-huh.
psychedelic. No, you went to Checkmates.
From psychedelics, yes, that's right.
All right.
Psychedelics to checkmates, yeah.
Okay. And how was it at Checkmates?
Checkmates. There was a kind of band that used to play like a soft rock, that kind of music, them, the
And
funk.
funk.
Yeah,
Funk,
no, they didn't get into the funk. They weren't playing funk then. They would just play like soft music, Song of Silence and them kind of song, and dance, hug up and dance type
the
of
same
music.
kind of music like After Two Toes that Dinks used to sing. 5 wasted years. Slow
Yes,
music.
yeah, that kind of slow thing. Yeah, we used to go on with. Yes,
Okay, so
and
now
then
no soca thing wasn't really in yet, like because
no, we
soca was
was
also slow. Call
no,
it slow.
yeah, no, man. We studying soca. That there wasn't studying soca. I was playing soca. I was playing jazz. As a matter of fact, I forget to tell you all that part.
Don't forget
While I
that.
was
Don't miss out anything. And
no,
if
no,
you miss out, feel free to go back. Because we
yeah,
want the whole 9 years. Yeah,
you are the whole line. Yeah.
yeah, man.
While I was playing with psychedelics, I used to play with Frankie McIntosh's father and his uncles, Uncle Jim, Uncle Harold, I think it was his name, and his father, we used to call him Uncle Tom. And Smex would play the drums. This is Arnold, the nephew, and they had me playing bass with them. And we used to go to the Olive Hotel. You remember Olive Hotel on Back Street there by oh gosh, near to Silky Garage.
Yeah, you remember
St.
that.
Paul's, look, yeah.
Yeah.
Where we used to do jazz on Sunday there. Me a little boy with these old men boys. I was a baby in the band at that time. That was where my foundation really started and understanding the fundamentals of music and got more serious than just playing the everyday songs. Because we listen to a song on the radio and pick up the bass and follow the bass. That's the gift. That was a gift I think God gave me, and that's how the whole thing started, man. And then from there, after psychedelics broke up, the brothers, the McIntosh brothers, like Uncle Tom, ended up coming to the States and so on. So that's a segment of my life was something good though. I learned something, it made me a better musician. And then I joined Checkmates.
Once again, you listen to Vinci Internet Radio, and we have with us legend of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, one of the better players I've ever seen of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is Harold Ploomie Lewis. Ploomie, I was going to ask you if you ever played with Arnold McIntosh.
That's Smex.
Oh.
He's what who are calling Smex, yes.
Okay. But good drummer.
Oh my God.
Was an excellent drummer.
Excellent. That was the show. That was the 4-show band in St. Vincent with Arnold. We have a guy, this guitar player called Speedy, and we had Caribbean Pete. He used to be my headmaster in prep school when I was a little boy.
Yeah,
he ended up playing.
I know he was a headmaster. Yeah.
Yeah, Peters. Yeah, man. We used to call him Caribbean Pete.
Yep.
Yeah, man. That was a show. That was the 4-show band. That is the band that started me. I mean, Arnold would get up off his drum and play his drums backwards. He'll walk around his drum and solo. I said, well, I got to do something too. So I started throw the bass behind my neck and thing and play the bass and put it between my legs and whining the bass on the ground and thing. That's where that whole thing started.
I think it started that too early for me because I really want to get into that because that's anytime I come to dance, that's what, once you do that, I know I'm okay.
I hear you, man. Yeah, man. I think that was where everything started, man. That psychedelics. I gotta give them the props. And
I can tell you one thing in my school days. When I come up to your mom's place, what coming up there to look at?
I remember we had a conversation, the instruments.
I coming up there to look at the instruments downstairs.
Yeah, man. Yes. That was revolution.
That was revolution. Yeah. And that was revolution at its best.
Yes. We did a lot of practice in there, boy. We did, as a matter of fact, any band I was in, I always wanted to practice. I mean, even though it would catch quick. That is the credit I have to give to Mastermind, oh boy. We will hear a song We tell you play it one time, play the second time, and we're ready to go. They were tight like that.
Because in my days, remember you and you guys coming out to play? Tell us a little bit now when you and your moves that you play outside of Kingston.
Oh my God. I used to like to go, especially Georgetown. Georgetown was a foundation for us to know that I have to go back to Mastermind again, because Lucky Balcom had given us the manager's cottage, or the mansion that he used to put up the managers for the bank, I think, in Georgetown, when they come from like foreign, like the other islands and thing. They had a place to stay. He gave us that place for almost 2 months for us
For the
to
country club.
country club. But that we used to play at the country club, but we used to practice at the house. We used to practice at the house. I can't remember where the house was, where the area was again, but it wasn't far from country club. And we started doing a lot of R&B stuff, like the latest music out of American thing, Even when we play soca, we soca song like funk. You know what I mean? So we changed the dynamics. We did a lot in the music with that band. All the bands that have passed through really helped me in who I became.
Yeah, and you in the development stage, when you start to branch out now to different organizations, what you took with them, and what you see in most of our musicians at that time?
When I branch out to, like, come again with that.
When you branch out to different bands.
Oh, okay.
What can you say about our musician? What you have for our musician?
All the bands so far that I played out with, very little of them I could say weren't talented. Everybody was. We are different type of people altogether, man. You're Trinidadians, soca, Jamaicans, reggae, and St. Vincent is we thing, kind of thing. And that's where I developed my style and developed what I wanted to be. I never wanted to follow. And I know a lot of musicians in St. Vincent were like that too. And then, and I think probably I started a snowball at that time. I don't know, but that's what most people say. But I really didn't start, as I said, with this dancing and the partying. I think that I got to give Arnold McIntosh that credit. He made me like what I saw and feel, this is something important to make your music, into something special.
Because you took it to Revolution, man, and you take it up another notch.
Yeah. I remember when we went to Grenada, man. Grenadian people used to go crazy, man. I remember because at that time I was lost. I mean, it was awesome, man. Grenada was one of my best, and St. Lucia. Gotta give St. Lucia some props too. With Trinidad, we went to Trinidad to play at Sparrow Hideaway. And but there wasn't much room for that action, but the band played well. Walker, we call him Ruggs Walker. That's what he preferred to be called. He was a drum. You know who is this?
Borchum, is that Borchum?
No. It's Walker from going up what the hill there above French's.
Yes,
Tongue Hill.
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. He was young, man. He was about 13, 14 when I brought him in the band. The guy said, "Man, where you going with this guy, man? You gotta look for somebody who could play." I said, "Listen, everybody deserves a chance. You understand? Give the man a chance. I know what being scared could do to you, because it drives your adrenaline, and you play things that you never expect that you could play until you're faced with a crowd in front of you and people start jamming with you." And he did that. He did good. There were certain days you were a little nervous and thing, and make a few mistakes, but the band was enough to cover. But he came out, he did well too. He did well. Oh, you got me jamming, man. A long time I hear this song. That's the song I did when I got an award for a Lifetime Achievement Award from the International Reggae and World Music Award show in 2015. I think I could see them behind me. They're right over here on this side.
Yeah, in case you just joined us, we're talking to Mr. Harold Ploomie Lewis, legendary bass player. He has done it all in bands, all around St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And it's also said that you have a great impact on the music in SVG, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Take us back to when I think it was Checkmates that was changed. You changed the name to Mastermind.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us the story behind it.
Well, as they had a group in Barbados called Checkmates, and in the meantime, we also were looking for a name that suit the type of music we were playing at the time, because we lost ourselves in orbit, man. We left St. Vincent spiritually with the type of music we were playing, because sometimes we go to gigs, people would boo us and thing, say, well, what kind of stupid music are you playing? And now everybody playing it, and still musicians trying to catch up to where we were at in those days in 1971, 72. Mastermind was a progressive band. Revolution turned more commercial. That's why they were so popular. We were a commercial band. We played, the things that people at that time desired from us. They commanded that from us. That, we want to hear some more soca and, some, let's say, some reggae and thing. Sometimes I think we came up with the first band to come up with the spooch beat with Let Your Love Flow. If you listen to that song, you're going to hear that spooch before spooch came out. That's what we were playing. We went in Barbados and recorded it. And
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, that's good.
No, you go. I have my thoughts.
No, I was saying that that I think that is where spooch sort of originated. We from the band, we all say that listen to that music. That music is just like Let Your Love Flow when we did it in Barbados. So, Vincentians are creative people, man, all over. Musicians, even in art. Like Coswell Samuel used to do all my costumes, design my costumes, and you see me wearing all kind of chain around my neck and things that was different. I just was that kind of person. Smoke my little something in the day and go and play music. I ain't ashamed of that. I have to admit that.
True, it's a part of you, man.
How you mean?
We heard it over and over this program, especially like, but I every time I have to stress that what I've learned from this program, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people take it for granted, but we learned that Vincentian music is so unique, and it's artists who come on and say it, and in my mind, when I first started hearing it, in my mind I was like, it's not so unique. It's not so unique. But I'm hearing it from you about the uniqueness and knowing now that when you went back and you said, because, I'm a 70s baby, so I'm obviously after you started, right?
Right.
When I came, I started hearing, Beckett slow music, and to be honest, like, Dings Johnson, Alpha Tutus, and because I'm a countryman, Alpha Tutus is a country band,
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Dings is a countryman. So I couldn't see the uniqueness in it when we just started hearing it, but from hearing it, the history, from hearing from other past artists, like like someone was saying, us with Raga Soca and stuff like that. Vincentian really do have a lot of unique musicians.
Yes. Talking about Massachusetts, that was our best. That Massachusetts, we used to be like competing, but friendly competition, right? When we go and play together, we don't study about, well, you can't play my instrument, we get together, we say, which instruments we can leave in the stage, because we ain't gonna be moving around to do things. We want to jump anything. When we finish, you must be jumping. Sometimes the drummer will get up from Massachusetts and our drummer will go and continue with them, and then we start to feed in our band one by one. That was days that bands were like a family. I miss that, because no, some of the bands here, they do that because I kind of bring that energy too when I come. A man want to play my bass and say play it, unless special bass. I have two of them that I don't really like anybody playing, so I'll walk with a second bass and say, well, you could use that one. God, this one here, I see some guys pulling my string on them. I don't play my bass like that. I love my bass. That is my woman, man. You can't go pulling on her. So You know what I mean? You could imagine a man tugging a woman extension. That ain't gonna be right. That will start a fight. So I said, don't tug on my base.
You mentioned in on an interview that the disappearance of bands, and we asked a question recently, why are there not so much bands here? And one of the last answer was economic reasons, and you mentioned that musicians started disappearing, from around the St. Vincent scene, migrating and stuff like that for opportunities, better economical opportunities within the musical circle,
Right.
So it seemed to me like it's been a while since that has been happening, a musician not getting a fair input. And you also mentioned that, the piracy of our music, it was easier then to pirate the music. And what do you think about, self-protecting the music, especially soca music in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which a lot of artists, before you answer, which a lot of artists are not protected, their music and are not protected from copyrights and stuff like that.
Speaking for myself, I'm one of those musicians. I mean, I know I've been exploited, especially with the song that we know I'm redoing. I'm redoing it because there were certain things in it that I wasn't pleased with, wasn't satisfied. I needed a little more. And you would hear it in a new version when I release it in the next 4 weeks. In those days, I didn't know about that either, because when I went to Barbados, we just went there to record a few songs and make us a couple 45 so we could sell while we touring. That was the idea. We wasn't thinking about distribution and, copyright and all that thing. The man who woke me up to that thing is Gabby. When we were in Barbados recording, he said, which one of you write this song, hey boy? So everybody looking at each other, and Kenton said, well, the leader of the band, he wrote the song. He said, I want to talk to you. And he carried me in a room and in the office for the Merry Men. That time it was the Merry Men studio we recorded at. And he asked the guy to pass him these papers for registering the music. And I'm registered that music right there. If he didn't do that, the literacy would have been never registered. And even though it became popular, as a matter of fact, in England, it's right now a collector's item. Oh. It's a very popular song through Europe, France, Italy, Milan, and a couple other Asian countries and things. That music playing. If you go on the internet right now and put in Ploomie Lewis or The Revolution of St. Vincent, you'll see the different CDs. Some of the CDs they have my name as Harold Lewis, and some of them have it as Ploomie Lewis. But that is because those people that use, well, the Ploomie Lewis is what I gave. You know that those are the people who contact me to get permission to reproduce the music. But other than that, I want to know anything. I made some money, but nothing to, it ain't millions of dollars or thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they're giving you a nickel to every, not a nickel, a penny to every sale they make. So we have to be more. And right now, I have a manager that takes care of my business. Now she has a lawyer, so that too could be a little setback too for you, because most places, when they feel that you're too, especially I guess as Black people and from the Caribbean, they feel they could exploit us. And then when they realize you have a lawyer or a business manager that taking care of your business for you, it kind of scare them. Because there's a show that happened on Netflix called Outer Banks. They were supposed to use my music on the season 2 first episode, and they back out of it last minute. So that because the lawyer was trying to tell them, well, listen, this you have to pay this and you have to pay that and so on. And they say, boy, let me look for somebody who had that much sense. That's how the game goes.
Might have been good to let them use it, then talk.
You understand? So yes, I would have let them use it and then say, so where my money?
Yeah.
But even that.
Yeah, a couple of Jamaican artists now are benefiting from that, Florian and those guys are benefiting from it. So,
Yeah.
So the protection is good, just to let the young artists know out there that build on you something and protect yourself, because further down the road, you'll benefit from it.
You'll benefit from it.
Big
Yeah.
time.
I have no regrets though. I mean, I'm happy to know that the music became popular, and and it did something for me, and I'm good. I'm all right. And now I'll do it again, but this time I did it, as I said, I played all the instruments, and I had two hornmen. One of it he's the colonel of the sheriff department in Broward. He played the sax, but I mean, he played according to the arrangement I have. He and what's the trumpeter name? Is from Africa? Very good trumpeter. He played along. I played some synthetic horns on the keyboard, and to get that brass, that real brass feel, you need real brass. You know what I'm saying? So that helped the song of the music itself. And then I played the live bass, and I played the keyboards, and I programmed the drum.
So my next question to you is now, so how or when did Calypso came into play during the band sessions?
We played some of the old time calypsos with Roland. We played more calypsos with psychedelics, because that is what the people wanted in the day, Psychedelics was the soca, not soca, but calypso band, you call it, because soca wasn't out yet. And then the transition to Checkmates was a little different, because we started to play that kind of, like I said, soft rock thing. I didn't really, I wasn't feeling it. So when guys come from the States with the new records from Mandrill and Osibisa and was the couple of those bands, the Rare Earth, Spyro Gyra, that kind of music we started getting into. That was challenging.
So if I'm right, because I really need to understand this part. So you guys are actually doing something like what Bob Marley and them, they were doing with Rocksteady to go on to reggae. Did you guys bring it up like that? So, but it was towards soca and things like that, right?
Right. That's why we don't sound like soca. Don't care what we do. We don't play soca. We play St. Vincent. We play Hyrule. We play. I tell most people I'm Garifuna, because I have the mixture of black and the Caribs in my family. So I wasn't born on this soil, but I always tell people, when they start questioning me too much, I say, listen, I'm a citizen of planet Earth. The Earth didn't belong to no segregated part of people, from another. That's what the crook and them do to us, divide us to rule us, So people have to learn to come together. People don't let them divide you, man, or make you hate your own brother. How stupid that sounds, So we Garifuna, St. Vincent, especially St. Vincent, have real history. That's why we're so unique. I am Vinci. I wasn't born here, but my father is Garifuna. You understand? And most of our people come from Africa, India, all about, and join here in St. Vincent.
Don't worry, your neighbor's string cut in St. Vincent, don't worry.
man.
But really, like it's really, I don't, like, folks might wonder why I'm spending so much time on this. Really, the musicians in St. Vincent are so unique, because if you really check it out, the musicians, they can sing anything. They're
my God.
They can sing anything. Like, they're not just calypsonians, like, some nation, they're just calypsonians. St. Vincent calypsonian can go on and sing all different genre of music, We're very, very, very unique,
Yeah. And remember this too. A lot of the foreign bands used to come to St. Vincent to get their musicians to play with them. Don't care what. As a matter of fact, what am I saying? I went to Europe with a Haitian band playing bass with them, and they allowed me to play my style. They like my style. They say, man, we like the influence you put into the music. I recorded a couple songs with the band. It's called Strings. What's his name? Jackie Amboise and Strings. I played with them for about 3 years while I was up here, and we toured we went to the Caribbean, St. Lucia, St. Croix, and thing, and they playing Haitian and I playing funky calypso kind of thing. You know what I mean? And they were loving it, man. They were loving it.
So
We are capable.
And before Steve comes in, so all this with your when you were playing with the bands and those other guys, none of you guys had like formal music training. It's just playing by ear.
Yeah.
Playing by ear.
Yeah. I never really started to check music until I come up here. And again, I had a lesson because I wanted to play with Frankie, but he only used musicians who could read music because he wants you to play the music the way he wants his music to be played. You can't come in there and jam. But I was offering him my style, take my style no matter what I was reading that he's in there. So anyway, I eventually had to learn to read. Anyway, I did a little reading with a group called Brass Explosion. I had two friends in there who was helping me out a lot. Belfast from Trinidad and a guy called, what's his name again? Collis. He was both of them were saxophone players and gave me, not telling me through the whole thing, run the rudiments and the cycle of chords and all of that. We ain't get into that. We just get into look. This note is this note and that note. And when you look at it, you must recognize it. Don't worry about the reading all the thing. Just make sure you recognize what made the note drop. And that's how I learned. Quick. And as quick as I learned when I got here to Florida, I don't do that anymore because nobody reads it. They all want to know, Bob Marley? Yeah. Okay, let me go with this song. Boop. And I drop in my own bass too. Yeah. That's it. That's it, man.
Plumie, I'm glad you said that this song is very popular in Europe. One thing I can tell you, my radio station is also very popular in Europe. So when you drop that song, make sure I get a copy of that so that I can
listen. Of course. Yeah. I appreciate what you guys doing today. You made my day. God bless you, man, because your outlet for Vincy people, man. I got it. I've been advertising and telling people. I hope they're listening right now because I did my own promotion about it using the stuff that you sent, which was I think was very professional. The way you presented it. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you guys. Really.
We only can keep going up, and that's what as I told you already. I want this to be a mouthpiece for Vincentia, not only Vincentia artists, but culture and you do something, you just come and we just let it out to you. It doesn't have to be a musician. People who write books and all this kind of stuff. I want this to be the mouthpiece of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that's why we're working hard at it.
You got it. Got it.
As I tell you, I wanted to get you long time on the show. I keep searching for you, but I couldn't find you.
Yeah.
Because
man, I appreciate that, man.
What pumped me, man, is that I was listening to another radio program and they were talking about bass players and the name Ploomie Lewis never came up.
Wow.
So that's what really pumped me.
Yeah.
So I said, no, I have to get this man on my show.
I like that because something too. I met Kevin Little. As a matter of fact, Kevin was at one of the award shows. I was presenting awards at that year. And I met Kevin. Kevin got an award from the same Arama, which is International Reggae and World Music Awards. And we took shots together and so on. And I was talking to him. He said he never heard of me, never. I said, wow. I said, man, I've been here for years, man. He said, no, he didn't know me. But then I understand. I mean, he's younger and. He did, listen, man, even him, man, he did well for St. Vincent, a lot of people that are appreciating that, but I give him a lot of props, he's out there, and how it can be sometimes when you go home, the people who just have that attitude, well, they recognizing you because you're in there with them. You can't be like that. You have to look at what the person has done and the position we are on the map through him, even through him. And Beckett and Soso, all these guys, man. And Soso now gone and leave us. You guys know Gregory Bacchus?
Yeah. That keyboard player, man. That fast fingers, man. That man fingers were fast.
Yeah, he was one of us, man. He wanted to play with me since in Checkmates, but I had no control in that. And by the time I formed Revolution, he was ready to go to the United States anyway. So that's how that ended up. But we work a lot. I have pictures with us playing together. And Nicky Farrell, you remember Nicky Farrell?
Oh yeah, I remember that too. At Revolution or Checkmates, one of those. Yeah, I remember
Revolution. Well, he was. I forget it. Volcanoes or the. He was playing with. I can't remember the band he was playing with before he joined Revolution. But when we came up to Florida, he, Baki, a guy we call Basha, we formed a band. I formed a band called Crisis, and we were doing all right for a while. But again, everybody, you want to eat some food, so you gotta move on. Like I did with the steel drum. After everybody leave and it's just the bass I had to learn another instrument, or I wouldn't be playing music all now. Still.
Yeah, that's the other thing I want to get into. When you learn to play the steel drum.
Well,
tell us about that.
Okay, I had a friend. What's his name? Freddie. When I remember his last name, I could tell you. But Freddie is a steel drum player. He has a son that is doing real excellent in university right now, in one of the universities in New York. And he said, man, Ploomie, you gotta learn to play this instrument. He said, if you don't play this instrument, soon you're gonna be able to eat. And that's how he talks all the time. So I say, well, I don't want that to happen to me. So he gave me a steel drum, and I just started practicing with it and fooling around. And I outgrew it. Then I bought another one that I thought was a little better. And then that's how my thing grew. I started playing steel drum professionally now.
Because I saw in some of your gigs that you're out front with the steel band. I said, I never knew you play steel band when you were here.
Everybody's surprised. No, I started playing steel band about 10 years ago.
And it sung real well. I said, well, this man be playing steel band for a long time.
Well, it's the same thing like the bass. These instruments is just come with me. Like I tell you, as a man, bring a steel drum and tell me, boy, learn to play this. And I learn. And now as a matter of fact, I have a big gig to do tomorrow. And it's steel drum. I'm playing no bass. I ain't carrying no bass. Week before the last, I just did a steel drum gig too. Me and some other cats, local cats.
I saw that. I saw you advertise it for tomorrow. Yeah.
Right.
So you really have to keep me up to date, because the problem I have is that some of the artists, they send me their music, but they do not send anything for me to see about them.
Okay.
Like, when I doing this, I can say, well, okay, look out for you playing tomorrow, XYZ.
Well, as a matter of fact, what I might do is send you the official. It's not the official, because the official would have my picture and everything on it. That when they release they finally release the song. But I don't mind sending you a copy of this from the master track. That every now and then, you could do a little job for me in between. And for the 1st of May is the official release date. Then you could start playing it in the fullest. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I need, because what I'm doing right now, although I get this thing, I know is in a remix. So I keep dropping it every now and then I'll drop it. But the thing is, one after May 1st, I need something from you. Yeah, because I can do a lot. We can do a lot more, because Mr. CS have his we coordinate with CS TV. So by doing that, because when we finish with this, he's gonna edit it and we're gonna put it on YouTube.
Okay,
so
cool.
If you guys can coordinate a little bit more with us, we could always incorporate everything into our YouTube channel.
Okay. Just keep me in touch with me, because listen, I ain't ashamed to say again, in the age sometimes I'm surprised that I'm remembering a lot of things, but you are asking me questions. You know what I mean? Because I'm at the age where it's only one thing at a time I could do.
I know.
I'll be honest. Some days this year.
Yeah, because
you know that, right?
I know that. So
you know that?
I know that. Remember, I knew you a long time. When I'm a little boy, not going in school, I hear the music up there. Sometimes we playing and the music up by you,
I hear you, man. I hear you.
I know that. That's why I follow you a long time, because people might want to know. Some people ask me, "Oh, you know this guy?" I say, "I know this guy even since I was going to school."
That's amazing, man. But I get a wake up call though, because I've been seeing, OJ he was with Alphachusis, I think he was with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He used to sing that like the guy in Earth, Wind and Fire, the lead singer.
Oscar James.
Oscar James. Oh God. Yes. He passed away, right?
No, that's a shock to me.
Boy, Oscar James passed away 3 weeks before Bucky. Greggy passed away.
Because I was looking to him to bring him on my program.
No, the man gone, man. That's why that wake me up, because they're still younger than me, But the fact of it is, I just got a wake up call. I said, listen, I still start putting on my music. And as a matter of fact, I'll keep you abreast every time I release a song, because from now on, I'm going to be releasing a song after giving the song before it a good push. I need to push my music. I need to see sales. I need to see the expansion, because I'm not doing like everybody else doing an album one time. Kevin Little made that mistake. When he did that album, he had about 4 or 5 songs that could have been number one if he had really one at a time. But the song that they liked the much, what's the song that made a hit? I can't remember the song. Remind me.
Turn Me On.
Turn Me On. Turn Me On wasn't the only hit on the album. He had about 3 or 4 other hits in there that he could have made it if he had done that. So in my mind, I say, something, I learned something from that. I ain't gonna release a whole album one time. What I'll do is release the album after I've released 12 songs individually. Then you create an album and put it out there again.
Before I pass it back over to your host, I'm gonna jog your memory. I don't know if you're gonna remember this, but I'll tell you something that happened between me and you a long time ago. Remember when you came home to St. Vincent and was playing when the Carnival Development Committee invited you?
Yes. Okay.
Remember there was somebody who asked you why you didn't do so many antics in the thing, and you told me something about the bass guitar?
Why you got
I think about the strings of the bass guitar or something like that. The number of strings and the guitar that you had at that time.
Oh, okay, because I probably was just starting to play the 5-string.
That's exactly what you told me.
Yes. So it wasn't that easy to do a 4-string. I could do it, but I needed the 5-string to get that bottom end, for the soak, everybody.
That's exactly what you told me.
Okay, then.
I was that guy.
It had to be that guy. Yeah. Yeah, boy. That is it. That I released those music in 2011. I went to St. Vincent with the album. I went with the whole album, and that is where I realized, Ploomie, that's not a good idea. But I'll tackle the soak again in the near future. But a lot of the music that I did then, I'm going to upgrade them. Bring them up to modern day with the modern equipments and, the whistle and bells, that goes with modern day music.
All right. So Ploomie, you touched a point when you said artists sometimes they put out a lot of songs that should be hit, and doesn't all that have to do with management, your management skills, or you having a proper management team to control those kind of things? Because it happens even in international music.
That's true.
You get the time, music, putting out music is very timely, not because it's completed. You just put it out.
Right. And time to me is not a watch. Time to me is a space and place that you do things, because if you depend, you see, the watching thing is man again made. But when you're dealing with the spirit, when the time is right to do something, because you're listening to the universe, And I learned that doing that album to me was an experiment. I came to St. Vincent, I gave that album away. I mean, I just give anybody who wanted the song, give them a copy, give all the radio stations. In St. Vincent, the only radio station that still plays my music a lot is that boy Dougie, the Freighters.
I ain't gonna cut in here, but I really had to give him props to that, because I think around Saturday afternoon he played a lot of Vincentian music.
Yes.
And that's why I duplicate this thing too. Every Thursday from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. I only play Vincentian music.
I hear you.
And again from Saturday from 12 to when we have our interview.
I'll release some of my songs with you because some of them I mastered myself, right? And that I was still early in the game. So I learned because, you know, more you do it, you learn things. Yeah, that you shouldn't write, orchestrate, mix, and master your own music. You will, one of those things will fail you.
True,
you need to
true.
trust people to help you to do those things. But again, like I said, the pandemic and you know, sometimes you got guys are talking to them and they say, yeah, man, and they never show up.
Right.
So
So you also have a point because by you doing all those facets of your music, you're only doing things that please you. You know what I mean?
exactly,
Like, yeah, your
exactly.
your lyrical content is because you're thinking about you.
Yeah,
Your writing skills about you. The producing, you're thinking about you. So, you know, share the works, and for me, the best way is you create a team. You know,
yeah.
and then go from there. And having said that, whenever you want to release a music, you know, just let us know, and then we can review it also with you while it's released.
That's
So,
you know,
yeah.
something. Yeah, that's a good. I
Mhm.
mean, listen, man. This conversation is a blessing as a feeling. Something about getting in contact with CP was, I felt something. I felt something that's different. You know, and like I say, things always find me. I don't find things, and it's not because I sit back and don't want to do it, but I think when you're connected to the universe, the right people always come your way. You always get the right people to come your way. And that's what happened with us because, you know, it's all part of the growing.
Uh,
I
uh,
don't know how long God will have me here on this earth, but at least while I'm here and I sitting down to wait to get off the train, I jumping up in the train until the train stops.
right.
You know?
Let me tell you, and I know some people talk after, but usually when they come on the program, they don't want to leave. Just put it
There
that
you
way.
go.
Come on the program, yeah. When
Yeah.
like everyone who comes on really honestly finds it like just amazing. They just want to sit down and tell their story, and they don't want to leave because it's so uplifting. Like, you know, memories come back and a lot of things come back. But moving on now to you now, Mr. Legend. Um, who were your idols growing up? Who were your icon, like apart from your brothers? I know your brothers are all musicians, but like people outside or in the diaspora at that time, who were you looking up to? And you
Oh
know,
man. Oh man. That watch you see, that is why you can't get people off the station because you just ask the right questions and you bring up things that we bury. You know how to question. I love you guys, man. You know how to place your question, man.
we're trying.
Let me tell you, that Frankie McIntosh was an inspiration to me. Jex, Jex King, I think his name was, the bass player that used to play with him. He also plays trumpet. He was an awesome bass player. That's the bass player I wanted to be like, to be honest with you, when I heard bass in St. Vincent. Um, who else in St. Vincent inspired me? Um, who else could, let me think, good musicians. Well, Pete, Caribbean Pete and thing too, you know, he, as I say, he was my teacher in prep school, but at least I still adored him, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I felt, I like his style and the way he approaches music. Um, but Frankie made a mark on me, I must say. Frankie of all the musicians that come out of St. Vincent.
Yeah, I know
Uh,
Frankie would be in there, but I didn't want to bring it up, but I know Frankie
yeah,
would be in them
yeah.
would be in there.
And then again, playing with his father and his uncles and thing, that too. That was they helped to broaden my scope in the business because through them, you see, I got into jazz and like, you know, the old standards and thing, you know, Misty and all them kind of music. I used to play with them and one note samba and, you know, these kind of classical jazz songs and bossa nova and so on. That's what we used to play, jazz and bossa nova, you know. So that helped me too because it widened my scope. I wasn't just calypso and reggae. I was all everything. And it has influenced my music today too. So even though I play by myself, I don't sound like the same thing all the time, because not only I play different music, but I play different styles. You know, I get into the R&B, I get into the calypso, I do my reggae. My reggae is my own style. I'll let go some of the music and let you guys on you. I definitely promise to do that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be busy next week setting up some of these songs and getting a feedback from you. I want to get a feedback from you, because there's no, you see, you don't have to play a musician to advise a musician. You only need a musician who's willing to listen to advice, you know? And I'm always open to that. I don't feel like I came and meet music, so I can't own music. You got to listen to people.
So with the evolvement of Vincy Soca now, like first we had the calypso that used to carry on, then soca, we branch off to raga soca, and now we have the what do you call it, the hype soca. How do you see soca music in the next 10 years in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
It's going to get more hip hop kind of rap, because rap controlling everything right now. Even though we were expecting it to die down a couple of years ago, it's not dying down. It's still long live rap. You know what I mean? And everybody wants to get into that genre, like, you know. But even when talking for myself, in 2011, I started this, what they call that slow down soca, what they call
raga,
what do you call it?
Raga soca.
Not raga soca. When you're playing soca slow, you know, like there's a term they use. I forget it. I don't even know the term. I just found myself playing music at the pace that I know I could dance to. Because if you pick it too fast with me, I go burn out. I go burn out. I'm too old for that.
The power soca thing.
yeah. You know, I can't handle. I have one or two soca right like that, but I'll send you some of my music and you tell me what you think of it, because I'm strange. I do music different. I don't do music that everybody do. And even though sometimes it's not popular at the moment, eventually I believe it will become popular, because the world will get tired of hearing the same thing every day. They're going to want to hear something different. And that's why I still stick into where my head is at as far as writing music. And it has done good for me. I mean, the song, the little you say, that was from the heart. I just wrote that from the heart, you know, and it became a hit. I never knew that. I mean, even Straker didn't know that it would make a hit. When we asked him to, he wanted to be distributor. Straker didn't realize the song would have been selling like that. That is what killed it, because it wasn't available. It wasn't available.
Yeah. So you were saying about the soca and the power soca. Because the music has evolved so fast, right? And I think reggae music has a problem with that also, because the new artists now, they're doing more R&B flavor,
Right.
dance, which the legends are not happy with. They don't mind the different branch, but they don't want to call it dancehall, because then R&B singers won't sample the dancehall artists like how they did before, sampling the old dance hall. So how do you react to the new power soca now then that's existing?
I like it. I like all music. I can't really do a definition of, you know, what the soca will be or it's going, but I know every time I hear it, it gets better to me, because, you know, we can't ignore the revolution. People are not going to be the same all the time. We evolve and we change and we make things different, and you have to be with the times, because like I'm so into computers and so on thing too, and I realize how friendly it can be for me in what I'm doing, because I use a lot of computer in my music, you know, and I show everybody has, you know, at first everybody who went to school to learn to play music find it ridiculous, you know, who wants to use a computer to write music? Bro, if you don't want to do that, you're going to be left out. So I really don't know where we're going the next turn is, but I know it's going to get more and more computerized, and a lot of people who have never read music in their life will be producing excellent music. You know, I thank God for the background that I got, but right now it ain't really paying off. What I'm doing is what's happening. You know, you jump on your computer, you program a few things, you don't steal anybody's sample, you use the tools that you have in the that's what I'm doing. Use the tools that I have in the computer to do what I want to do. If I play guitar, I play live guitar. If I play bass, I play live bass. The keyboards, I have a arpeggio that I can use to do this. I just hold my hand down on the keys, and the keyboard, the computer will do the strum that I set up in the arpeggio. So, you know, that's how you will hear. I'll show you a lot of the songs I wrote, and you hear great keyboard work. But I ain't burning no energy doing it. I just put my hand there and hold the chord and change the chords. And sometimes I have to go back and edit it because I make a mistake, one finger touch a bad chord, you know, go and fix it. You know, I like sharing my ideas with people. You know, I have nothing to hide. Tell you what it is.
Good. So let's say for the future or 10 years moving forward again, if you could, or if you don't mind, which artists do you see propelling the music of St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
So far, I see Skinny Fabulous. And oh boy, we just talked about there too. You know, I'm talking about Kevin. I don't know much of the other guys who. Some of those guys came to my studio when I was in St. Vincent. I don't know if you guys knew that I went back to St. Vincent for a few years and thinking that I would start a revolution there. You know, not name of the band, but with music where I was supposed to be piping stuff to the radio station. That was Force FM. They had a station in my house on Mackey's Hill. My brother took over that right now. So I wanted to put a station there and all that, but all that didn't work out. So I don't really have a good grasp. I can't really help you in that area. I think you could give me more information than I can give you about that. Honestly, I think so.
It's a fair enough answer. I'll accept that.
No. I mean, the questions, how people could leave the station. How could I leave the station with the questions you're asking me? I ain't gonna get a chance to leave because it's interesting. You know what I mean? It's an interesting question. And you helped me to remember a lot of things that I took for granted.
Well, I'm glad it's helping you too, because we're also learning from you, you know?
You could have fooled me.
No, I'm definitely learning from you.
Oh my God, yes. You guys are good, man. I have to give you props, man. You make me remember stuff I forgot.
True. I mean, in terms of artists, I'm not gonna really single out, you know, a bunch of artists because they evolve all the time. They come about all the time.
Right,
you know,
right.
I just wanted to hear from the legend's point of view, you know.
Oh, okay.
Artists, you know, because you know, like you said, there are a few of them out there who, you know, they put out songs and they're really putting St. Vincent and the Grenadines on the map, on the big sheet. And kudos to them, you know, big up to them.
Yeah.
Like anybody who is gonna uplift St. Vincent, uplift our culture, we give them, you know, 2 thumbs way up, man. So, you know, and to you know, we talked a lot about you, but we haven't really talked a lot about your workings, the work that you're doing in the States since you migrated, because, you know, we don't want people to feel that because you left St. Vincent, you left the thing, you know, stranded. You continue to work in the States. What are you really doing? What are you working on in the States right now, seeing that you live there now?
Yeah, well, I'm as I said, I'm working on music. I just, whatever the spirit tell me, sometimes I lie down in my bed and I hear a vibe. I just get up and come in the studio and I set the foundation. I mean, it's different. It's all kind. I'll send you music that you probably could use as station jobs. You know what I mean? So I'll send you some stuff and see what you think about it, because I mean, all kind of things come to my head. You know?
Right. So you do music, right? So
music,
what expect from you? Let's say they want your services and stuff like that. What should they expect from you? Do you go into production? Do you do, just arranging and stuff like that? Tell us, sell us your story.
Okay. I do arranging, I do writing, I do composing, and I do performing. Because even those calypsos that you're hearing there, I'm singing.
It's all good, man. Yeah. So you were saying you do writing, producing, everything, the whole 9 yards.
The whole 9 yards. That's what I do right now. I sit down in my studio and sing my own songs. I have ballads, man. I will send you ballads I do already.
That's what I mean, man. When you come on, Vinci, they really don't hold back on us,
No, man, no. I glad you guys. I'm so proud of you, man. It's unbelievable because ain't nobody doing this.
Nobody is doing.
Ain't nobody doing that. I mean, of course, Dougie is doing what he could do, but I hear them guys play my music and so, but I was never able to speak to anybody. It's just that I hear my music play and they will make the announcement there. The Harold Ploomie Lewis, did this and so on, but I never got a chance to really say what I have to say and get somebody to probe me, like with me. You come like a dentist, man. You're taking that tooth out, man. You got to come out.
No, because most people give you a 15-minute interview, a 30-minute interview. Like for us, it's not about the views. It's not about about getting the story out there and have it preserved so that people can go back and listen. Like, who's this guy Ploomie? Who's he? Okay, go look him up there and you will find this interview about his whole long resume. Yeah. So tell us about your musical catalog. How long is it and what's in it for whom?
I have like soft music too, like ballads, soul, reggae. Very some of my songs I convert them into reggae, and I have soca too, which I call soca, but it's progressive soca. I have one there. I can't find the original tracks.
When you say progressive, you have to break it down to me, because I'm.
Well, progressive mean that it ain't normal. It's not normal. It's jazzy. It's funky. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't. My music is universal. I see myself as a universal musician. I don't. I'm not sticking to any stigmatism where you is only one thing. Only calypso you can play. We play everything. Vinci play everything. We don't play reggae and soca, except for those who choose to do that. But the most prominent musicians in St. Vincent could play anything. They could go in any band and play. Don't care what culture your band or what music your culture is. We're going to play with you. But me, I like to do my own thing. And if you take it or leave it.
So what do you think about the Afrocentric in the soca?
I love it. I love it. It's still us. That's still our music. Don't they can't take that away from us.
We had a conversation with Adrian Bailey a few weeks ago also, and he was saying like we should get people who are doing also our indigenous music, the Garifuna music.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't really heard much of that, but we're looking into it to have some people on the Garifuna side, exposing them to the world and exposing that.
Right. It's good. And they have, you go to Bellies and you tell them you're Vincentian, you're honorable people. They treat you with honor. When I went there is 2012, I went there and I spent about 3 months in Belize, just trying to get hold to understand my culture. I see people that look exactly like me. Their names too were Lois, and that guy looked exactly like my family. And we bonded where we spent a day together. At the end of the day, we both cried when I was leaving, because I feel like I was leaving my family, and a lot of the special shows they were having and so on, I got VIP pass. VIP every minute they could have me on the radio station in Belize, So we have so much culture and so much to give, and we don't even know that we could give it. You know, if you understand who you are as a people, you would demand a lot more respect. You know, you won't take a lot of nonsense from people. You realize, listen, man, we're special people. You know.
True. And they say if you know who you are, you know where you're going. And for that, sometimes we try to bring out the culture in St. Vincent, whether it's musically, whether it's through poetry, whether it's through you know, people who write and stuff like that, because we want the people. If you're involved in music and you don't even know your musical history, you won't even know where to take the music, you know? So
exactly.
That, you know, we have legends like you, who again, you won't believe how important it is, you know, for people like me. Like I said, I'm a 70s baby, so I don't even know how this whole thing started, but you know, I'm getting to learn about it now, and I embrace every moment I have to every time I have an opportunity to ask a question or
man,
somewhere to it, man. You know.
Plummy, I have to go back a little bit because this is where we are.
Oh God, here you go.
And that's what making it so interesting.
Yeah.
When you started play with the Macintosh, were they practicing in Parslot?
Yes.
Okay, in that small little house around the corner.
You're right at the bottom of the hill. Yes.
Yeah,
that
man.
blue house.
I remember that. So
yeah. You got history, bro. I don't know how you could tell me that you're so young. You're so young, and I was playing music very young. You got old news, man. You good. You got
I move around the city a lot too, you know. So Parslot was like my second home.
I hear you, man. Also, you used to what is his name again that we had in Parslot? That used to cook the oxtail and thing.
Oh yeah, man. I know what you're talking about.
Oh God, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I'm always in Parslot, man. I used to be there with the Constant Brothers, you know. Those guys right on the front by, you know, where Louis Boucher used to live there.
Yeah. How you mean?
That was my liming spot.
I hear you.
The guy who used to be on the side, begging on the side there. That's
yeah, man. So I know those areas a lot, man.
Yeah. That's where we used to rehearse, man. That's where history was made, you know.
Yeah, the Hector Brothers and all those Slum Mates.
Yes, the Slum Mates. Yeah, we used to back them up. I backed them up both with all three bands: Checkmates, Mastermind, and Revolution. You remember Snap Soul?
Yes.
You see now what you're bringing thing out to me now. Snap Soul.
That's why when they come on the program, we don't want to leave.
Yeah. You got it, man. You're asking the right questions, and I'm really pleased to answer them. I'm really pleased to answer them. It was fun. It is fun right now. I don't know when you're going to get off the air, but it is fun while it is.
Yes. So in that sense now, when you migrated to the States, what's some of the things that you took with you from St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Because it doesn't matter what people want to say. Our music, our musicians. I remember days when we used to send musicians to Antigua to play with these other bands.
That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. St. Vincent, they ain't go Trinidad, you know. They ain't go Barbados. They come to St. Vincent. Even Frankie McIntosh was on one of those. I forget the band he was playing with in Antigua. A whole set of musicians went down to Antigua and Montserrat and somewhere else to join bands because that's where the money was. St. Vincent, remember, Revolution was the first band that musicians didn't have to do another job to survive. They were making money from just playing music.
I remember the police force lose a lot of horn players to bands from Antigua and across the Caribbean. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. You telling me you're too young too? You're not the one tricking me.
Because I know the history, but I used to just go around the musicians and get things. Let me tell you one thing. I used to work at a party club as well.
Okay.
So I got half of my history of music working there.
There. I used to play there when you were at anytime?
No, I was after you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I came No, I didn't work at Aquatic when I was visiting at any time. I know I played at Calico when they used to do these little shows like in Calico. You remember them days?
Yes.
I played there, I played pan there already. Did I play pan? No, I was playing bass. I was playing bass and singing.
Oh,
And I used to do a one-man show in Calico. I
okay.
can't remember what year that was. But I was trying to get the government to, I'll go throw something at you because it never happened. I was trying to form a thing called the Madongo Festival. And I went to government at that time to see if they would be interested in doing something like that. Because everybody doing jazz festival here, jazz festival. We want name, Madongo. Madongo mean you can play any kind of music. You know what I mean? We ain't sticking to no jazz festival. Play music, country and western, calypso, soca, reggae, funk. That was the whole idea of that. But they never really, how St. Vincent go already. Boy, you go to sit down. We had time with that.
Yeah, because for any country, St. Vincent, we play any kind of music in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it country music, reggae, calypso, soca, blues, whatever you call it. St. Vincent and the Grenadines can say, well, we have somebody who can do it. Shaking.
Yes.
You ever play with Shaking?
Boy, Shaking was in Polyphonics with my band Ploomie the Polyphonics.
Oh yeah, that was the brass section.
Yes, Shaking and Kenton Kirby.
I remember
and Peter Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
That was listen, let me tell you, that's the most, like I was saying, that is the most professional band I played with in St. Vincent because, as I said, we had rail guns in that band. Carl Rick Forbes was in it too, and Paul Anderson.
Oh, that what I know. I wrote that down, but for somehow I ain't get around to ask about Paul Anderson yet and his brother.
Boy,
let's go down the road.
Yes, I'm ready. Sad though.
Yeah, it was one of the most talented singer I have I think of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines that couldn't give you anything, and his brother again on the keyboards. Those
Brian.
Those were the days, man. So tell us a little bit about, as you walk along with Paul Anderson, about his musical, his singing career.
Paul Anderson had a unique voice, very unique. I mean, but again, like we say, he had his time, his reign, right? But a lot of other good musicians came up after that too. Like we talk about Odd, right? Odd is a good singer too. He, that was one guy we had to look at too at one time. But in St. Lucia, we were the best in St. Lucia. That's what they said. Whenever we toured to St. Lucia, the Anderson Brothers, even Brian had a unique voice. I never sang lead with the bands. I always sang, the only lead song I sing was Makosa. You remember the song? Mama Makosa.
Yeah.
That is the song that put me in the market as a singer. And all I was thinking is African. Amula ye, that kind of thing. But those Anderson Brothers, when you hear them guys blend and they do a harmony, you have no group that will put them in the spotlight. You know what I mean? That could knock them out the spotlight. And they both passed away, though. You know that?
Yeah, and I know they both passed away. Yeah, I think it was Paul first.
Yeah, Paul in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brian from in Canada from cancer.
Yeah. Man, so we do produce a lot, and that's I'm thinking about the program, and I'm gonna hit it on you right now. I'm thinking about bringing like you, maybe Ken Wiseman, a couple other guys, and we have a program where we go back and really go in depth a history of Vincentian music.
Oh, I'm down for that, man. I'm down for that. I just texted him a couple days ago. He sent me his new song. He has some nice music out now too.
Ken,
very nice. Yeah,
man, he's one of my boy too.
Oh, he often with you guys.
Yeah, man, he's one of my boy too.
I miss out on a jam with them with Rose. What's his name again? Rose and SVG, NBC.
Yeah. He played the jazz program.
Right. He played the Little Say on his jazz program when I first released it, and it wasn't mastered as yet, So, you know, I was doing that, and my manager said, listen, don't do that. We need to do a proper release of the song. Don't be playing the song. So right now, you need to do a proper release. So I had to pull back on my music for that. But I promise you guys, I'm going to send the song for you. I'll send it the full song. But I hear you playing the full song.
You send it for me on the week. I'm gonna drop it soon as we finish with you.
Oh, I sent it for you already?
Yeah, you did.
I have me here thinking that I think you all.
No, man, you good. You like you say, you gotta remember something sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop as soon as we finish, man. We're gonna drop it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna drop it when we live on Facebook too, so that everybody can hear it.
Oh God! Don't get them the whole thing yet.
No, we're getting half of it.
Just drop them little taste and things.
Yeah, just
you know.
half of it.
Yeah, man. And then I tell you, for the 4th of May is the official release. That is the day you could let go, match it up, do what you want to do.
Yeah. Any other musician come to your mind while playing in these bands that you think that we left out and you really want to make a mention of? Anybody that come to your mind offhand?
Let me see who we leave out.
Corwin
Morris. How could I leave out Corwin Morris, boy? Corwin Morris played in Polyphonics too. You hear the kind of people that play in Polyphonics?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, man.
How you know that?
I tell you already, you know. I've been around a long time in music.
Yeah. Corwin Morris. Come again, man. Brother Al Wilson.
Al Wilson, the guitarist, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ned, he wasn't playing with us that time. Ned, he was out in Revolution. Anyway. Who played the congas with us? Arnold McIntosh had played the drums.
Yeah, Arnold was on drums, yeah.
At Polyphonics, you know, we're talking about still there.
Yeah, Arnold was on drums. Arnold and was he pullers at the band, you know?
Yes.
The man was crazy on the drums.
I tell you, this is the man that opened me out. When he started, I see doing everything in the drums. I said, well, hey, the bass had to do something. I don't know. Who else really for Nicky Farrell was playing with me too.
Farrell, yeah.
So it was 2 keyboards we had.
Yeah.
And you know what's the song used to make people break down the door at an hotel? Bionic.
Oh.
You remember that song?
That song was from Merchant. He passed away though.
Yeah.
He passed away.
That song is the song Kill Him.
Yeah.
He talk about knock down a hard lash.
Somebody say he magnify his death.
Yeah.
The same thing he's singing that song is what happened to him. He got hit by a car.
Yeah.
Even sometimes we have these interviews. At the end of the interviews, you know, we like to go into a general discussion. We talk about things that maybe didn't come up in the interview.
Yeah.
Back we look at things like musicians and this kind of stuff. I think that's why sometimes people don't want to go from the program.
No, you ask the right questions. You wake me up today. I'm telling you, you asked me some questions and I didn't even have to think. They were right there. They was just waiting for the right question for me to give you the correct answer.
As I tell you the other night, and I'm gonna take you way back. Way back to those days, man.
You fail me, boy. You fail me. I'm really glad to answer your questions too.
Yeah, man.
In case you just join us, we're talking to a legendary, and I mean legendary, I'm not going to even call it a legendary bass player, legendary musician. That means he has contributed and still contributing to our culture, musical culture in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, legend, do you think that St. Vincent is so rich in music, in the music field? Do you think that we deserve to have a music festival? What do you think? What's your take on that?
Definitely. We need our own music festival. We just need the people who can help us to do that realize it. You understand? Because we have musicians that you could bring back from overseas right now that could make a difference to that too. Not only the local musicians. I've been thinking about that for years.
I'm glad you said that about musicians overseas, because like, again, through this program that CP and I, we have learned that we have so many talents, like really so many talents, and they just spread like all over the globe,
Yeah.
not just in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but talents that went away and they're really good musicians, but because it's not really in their part of their criteria right now, or part of their preference, they're not they're not really showcasing themselves as much as they should.
No, because it needs people like you guys who recognize that and making people aware of the musicians that are still there, but everybody will ignore them until suddenly somebody tell you, oh, you know, this such and such pass away. Oh my gosh. And then they have a big funeral and they talk about you for a couple of weeks and then it's done.
True.
You understand? They don't recognize you while you're here and making your contribution. So what you guys are doing is bringing along an awareness of that situation. And for that, I really give you guys high credit. Really.
And for that, we missed the opportunity to really get a story from Winston Soso. Like, come on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So there's no real story. And this man is just loved all over the world. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's a shame. So I hope one day we're gonna get, you know, the ABC of Calypso to really come on, and because he's just one that we have to have his story.
Yeah, he put us on the map too. He was one of the musicians that puts this on the map. As a matter of fact, I must say I had the pleasure of performing with him at the Police Benevolence club, I think they have in Dania. Kenny Williams. You remember Kenny Williams?
Yes.
Right. He had put together a show, and he had me and Winston perform at it. That's when I just landed these songs to that song you're playing there and a couple of my originals. I had done a whole album. Just sit down and did an album in a space of like 2 months. 2 months. That all them songs that you hear, the soca songs that you come in, in 2 months I wrote those things. And then had to turn around now and redo them because, you know, nobody can do something in 2 months and everything gonna be perfect. You know, it has its flaws, but people still did enjoy it. I mean, it was very popular here when I brought it here too, you know. And thanks to Dougie, I must give Doug the credit because he still played the songs.
So do you, or have you ever had young Vincentian artists or writers or producers come up to you for a little advice or a little mentorship?
Yeah, a couple of them, especially for building a studio. Just the other day, my great grandnephew and some friends are building a studio, I think, downstairs by our house in Mackey's Hill, where my brother live right now. They were asking me, you know, advice on what to do and what grounds to take and what position, you know, to do, which is something I learned, I teach myself, because I never had that privilege where people want to share their information with me. So that's why I always share my information, because I realized how I felt when people didn't want to share it with me. You know, it's not a nice thing, and you're going to die with the information, and nobody, you share the knowledge with anybody. That's a waste of knowledge. If you know something, share it. And that's what I'm doing. That's who I am.
See, that's why you're the legend.
Oh God.
Is there anything musically that you haven't accomplished that you would like to achieve?
Well, I wanted to play the sax, and a teacher. I can't. God is good. I don't remember his name. My saxophone was a gift to me, and I was just learning to play it, but there was a dent in it, and we were forming this band together. That time, Dap Arthur, you know Dap Arthur? You know who I'm talking about? Desmond Arthur. He just passed away too.
I heard the name already.
Awesome keyboard player. We were trying to form an R&B band, right? I was working with one before, and we were trying to form this band. And I said, well, you know, I want to learn the sax, and it was gifted to me. And I gave this teacher who was supposed to be playing with the band, he said he could get somebody who would fix it. And from the time he get my sax, that was the end of the band. I never meet the man again. I don't know where he gone. that was the only thing I wanted to learn to play extra, so as one of the blowing instruments.
Wow.
But
Well,
again, that's life.
don't worry.
That wasn't meant to
Life is
be.
not over. Life is not over yet,
You
man.
understand?
The
Exactly.
time is not no. The time is not
Yeah,
ready yet. You know.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
So just keep the faith. So
Uh,
you sound like a team man. Like you work. You like to work in teams and stuff.
yes,
So let me
yes.
ask you about collab now. Who is it? First of all, how do you feel about collaborations?
I'm open to that. I was always open to it.
In general or different genre? How do you feel about it?
Anything. I will collaborate with anybody. Like I showed you already, I went on tour with a Haitian band. I mean, how much further away from my culture I could go than to be playing French music. They won't understand a word they're saying, but I'm just playing the bass. I know where the stops come, I know where the bridge is, and that's all I knew about the music. And they
One song is like 15 minutes, 25 minutes.
yes, oh God, yes, yes, yes. But
Okay.
the crowd know to enjoy it. We used to play that place called um, SOBs in Manhattan. We went there several times. I went several times there. This guy, you remember from the Fugees?
Jean.
Wyclef?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He I think he was running a club there in downtown Manhattan. We went there a couple of times to play when I was working with a band. Did a lot of Haitian. As a matter of fact, I was in Haiti just before the earthquake. I was in Haiti 3 weeks before the earthquake. If it gone 3 weeks or for any reason, I would have been just trying to get out of Haiti.
Wow.
It was that, So yeah, Santo Domingo we went to again, Jamaica. We went to Puerto Rico. We did a lot of traveling. As I said, any genre, man, I always ready to collaborate. And I'll do bass. Sometimes guys just ask me to put a bass track down on this song, and I'll tell them send the music, or put the bass track send it back to them, upload it to them.
I think I like all kind of genres too of music, and I can pretty much relate to all kinds of genre because I listen to every kind of music, really.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will kind of partially answer my next question, but let me ask
Okay.
you that. Is
Okay.
there anyone, let me put it within your circle? Like, I'm not gonna say you want to do a collab with Jay-Z, or let's just keep it within our type.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anyone who you see that you would love to do a collab with right now? And
Let me think.
Let's put it out there. Put it out there. I want you to call a name. Put it out there because they might be listening.
Okay. Collab. I like to. One of the people I always think about is Dwight Hillocks. Not Dwight Hillocks, Dwight McIntosh. Sorry. He lives up here too. Awesome musician. He's just finishing off in Berkeley right now. He's done some work. We've collaborated on some work for me already. Where I give him an idea of what I did, and when he sent it back to me, I said, "Damn, that's what I meant to do." You know what I mean? I'm talking Vinci. I'm sticking in the Vinci line. Let me see who else. Who's out there? Remember, I ain't been home in a while, so I should be talking about people who are really doing something now.
It's who you would want to. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
I will collaborate with anybody, even Kevin Little.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, if he's willing or he's ready for that. Because that's another thing too with a lot of our guys too. It's very few of them know how to see the love in collaboration, because everybody wants to own everything. And my thing is, it's better to own 10% of something than 100% of nothing. You understand? If I'm working by myself and I didn't choose to do that, it's just circumstances made that happen, that I'm working by myself, especially with the pandemic. As I told you, that's where I was able to expand my thing and do my music. But I always looking for somebody to work with, man. As a matter of fact, the album, I had a lot of musicians that work with me. Now talking about it, George Victory. I'm trying to remember the Keith Walker. These are Trinidadian guys, though. They used to come at my studio, we record. Any Vinci used to go. Bucky, you know who I'm talking about? Gregory.
That's Gregory Bacchus, the keyboard.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gregory. We collaborated on the song called Madongo. I'm going to release it, but there's a lot of things that I needed to correct with the original one we did with him, that I did with him. So that was impossible, but he did a contribution to that song. You know, he played with me, but the end one is that I had to end up correcting a lot of stuff that we just played and left alone. He was here with me one evening and we just jumped. I said, let's do it. Because he always wanted to play. Man, Ploomie, I want to play the Madongo, man. You know, that Madongo song I got to play. So we made, mistakes as usual that I would have preferred that we had run it over a couple of times and fix it properly, balance everything right. But he was one. And who else from St. Vincent? Nicky Farrell. Nicky is my boy, man. Nicky, I don't know. I don't know where he is right now. I really wish I could get in touch with him. We had a nice thing going. I'll send you a picture of the group that we were trying to put together with Baki, Nicky, and Basha.
Right. So, well, usually we when we started this program, it was supposed to be an hour, and then 2 hours, and it was supposed to be on Saturdays only. And we had to extend it to Sundays also.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So things are happening. I was really feeling too good under the weather, so my voice is kind of leaving me. So,
me too. You didn't see me. I had to run for the water.
Yeah, legend. For me, it's been absolute pleasure, man. CP is gonna have the last word, but I must say that, thanks for your inspiration, thanks for your encouragement, thanks for your history, and thanks for what you've been doing to uplift St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm glad you didn't take
Curacao.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't take the Curacao heritage. You took our heritage, so we're proud to own you as ours. And you're.
How you mean?
Since you went to prep school, man, you're a Vinci.
Yeah, true that. True that.
Yeah,
no, man. Definitely. I mean, that's my roots, man. You remember, that's my father's land, man. My father's all Vinci. You understand?
True.
But he just land we out in Curacao, but that is not. I don't know. Since we leave Curacao, I never been back there.
Yeah, exactly.
Never been back there.
So man, I just want to wish you all the best in whatever you go forward doing in your musical endeavors.
Thank you, Mo.
And CP is gonna tell you that again, anyways. But I'm just reiterating what he's gonna say. Feel free to come back, and CP is gonna tell you it's your first time, but it won't be your last.
Exactly. It better not.
He's gonna tell you that again, but but for me, it's a pleasure. It would be an honor again to have you back, especially when you drop in your music. Let it be, come back and we'll walk through it, same way. Thing might not be 2 hours, it might be half an hour, 45 minutes. Whatever.
It's fine. It's fine. Anything.
VNC Internet Radio is your voice, So
thank you.
You can either tell the people where to contact you, or SIP will let you tell them where to find you on social media, how to get in touch with your services and stuff like that. But once again, it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. It's my pleasure too, man. My pleasure. I'm really happy and I'm proud of you guys. I like what you're doing. You're really doing something for St. Vincent.
Before you go, one thing I didn't get you, and I must have to ask you this: any lifetime awards?
Yes. I got it from the International Reggae and World Music in 2015.
Okay, so want to make sure that the people get that one.
Okay.
So,
yes, man.
As we say, it is really a pleasure to have you here with me. I mean, I feel so comfortable talking to somebody who I admire a long time on a bass guitar. Somebody who I used to. I couldn't come in, but I'm always at the window or somewhere outside looking out to see you and that bass, because I know the bass is going to go somewhere. You understand? So it was always a pleasure.
You should have checked me. I would have brought you inside, man. You could have been my guest. You know I would
Boy,
have done that.
No, they wouldn't let me in the door. I was too young for that.
Oh, this is my son.
yeah.
Oh, just kidding, man.
Yeah,
But anyway, yeah, man. I always love to share what I have. I always share what I have. You know what I mean? Music wise and life wise, you know. That's who God created in me. Yes.
Yeah, and seeing that you accept this thing, I was so happy. I get so overjoyed when you when you say yes, because that's why I send you a friend request. I say once you accept my friend request,
that's all over, right?
It's all over. Yeah. So
I hear you.
And man, it was really a pleasure, man. It was really
thank you. The pleasure was mine.
Inspiration for me, and to share your story with across the Eastern Caribbean and St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the rest of the wider world. It's not going to be your last time.
No.
You know, on Vincy Internet Radio. Vincy Internet Radio right now is yours. You know, you.
Oh my God! Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You just let me know. And even though, as Moulton say, 15, 20 minutes, we always gonna fit you in. And
yeah,
there's
okay.
There's no problem with that. You know, send me some information every time so I can just drop it on your song, because you don't know who is listening and who is just waiting on that information to say, well, okay, let's grab you.
Yeah.
Because apart from the Caribbean, we are very popular in Europe.
That's important.
So when I get that song, maybe a Saturday or so, I'll be doing a whole big promotion with the song. Maybe from midnight, because that's when the time people in Europe think, you know. Maybe
that's right. Yeah. Okay, so good.
When you drop me the song, maybe a Saturday morning, I'm come on the radio maybe about midnight or so. Because as you know, as you chat with me at the night, I'm not an early sleeper, so.
Yeah.
Always do 2 hours or so on the radio on a Saturday morning, from midnight to about 2 o'clock, just dropping in music and make sure that the people get it, you know. So all that is very important. And for you now, let the people know how they can reach you, how they can contact you. You have to have any numbers and all those kind of stuff. The last word is yours.
Okay. Well, you can contact me on 754-226-5549. And my Facebook name is Ploomie Lewis. That's my music. That's the one that you will find out more about my music and my entertainment. If you're interested in that, that is where to look for me on Facebook. That's the way to look for me on Instagram. And that is where you will look for me also on Messenger. Ploomie Lewis. And if you want to know more about my music and find my music on YouTube, you go to Ploomie Lewis. And you don't even have to put that. For the time you plug in Ploomie Lewis, it's a strange name. It goes right, take you straight to where most of my songs are. But remembering that I'm going to upgrade those songs. Those are songs I wrote already since in 2011. The one that you're playing, the Something or Trying, I did that, I think it was in 2015, because that's the song I used when I got my award.
So once again, thank you, man. Before I go, Ploomie, let me ask you, where can we get this music when you release it? Would you be available on, say, not Instagram, but on the media players like Spotify?
Yes, yes. I think there's a wide, the people I'm working with, they spread it over a wide set of people that do streaming. iTunes, music, Apple Music, and so the popular ones, and also those that people can check us on. I don't have the names right now because there's a lot of names. There's about 27 different places so far. I think they're going to release it on. So we waited until everybody get a copy of that song before we officially release it.
Okay, so what you do for me is send me the names of the popular ones.
Okay. Okay, I'll certainly do that.
Just send me the name of the popular ones so we can work on it from there.
Okay, definitely. Thank you so much, guys. Have a blessed evening, man, and God bless you, man. Thanks for bringing me out today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, and I hope we will be back soon.
Yes, definitely. I'm open to you. I'm yours, man. Just call me.
Thanks again, Plumie. Have yourself
Thank you.
Enjoy your gig tomorrow.
Thank you, man. And you too. Blessings to you and Moulton.
Thanks again.
Okay. Bye-bye.